I remember it so vividly. It was a typical night, nothing out of the ordinary. I was in my room, just like any other night, engrossed in a game that had me completely hooked. The glow from the screen was the only source of light, casting eerie shadows in the dark corners of the room. The night was quiet, almost too quiet, as if the air itself held its breath, waiting for something to happen. As I delved deeper into the game, my surroundings seemed to fade away. The storyline was gripping, the gameplay immersive, and I lost track of time. Hours passed by, and the room grew colder, despite the fact that I hadn't touched the thermostat. A sense of unease began to gnaw at the edges of my consciousness, but I shrugged it off as the game's intensity getting to me. That's when things took an unsettling turn. The game, which had been running flawlessly, started glitching. Strange, distorted sounds emitted from the speakers. Glitches flickered across the screen, distorting the characters' faces into horrifying contortions. My heart pounded as I tried to exit the game, but it seemed to have a mind of its own, refusing to respond to any commands. As I sat there, frozen in disbelief, the room grew eerily silent. It was so quiet that I could almost hear the rapid thudding of my own heart. That's when the game itself began to act strangely. It started controlling my computer, opening and closing applications, typing out random sequences of letters that made no sense. It was as if the game had taken on a life of its own, a malevolent presence that invaded my space. A chill ran down my spine when I heard a series of distinct knocks on my door. It was slow, deliberate, almost rhythmic. My breath caught in my throat as I glanced towards the door, my mind racing with possibilities. I was alone in the house, and those knocks felt like a harbinger of something sinister lurking just beyond the threshold. The room seemed to grow darker, the shadows dancing ominously, and the air thickened with an oppressive weight. Fear clutched at me like a vice, and I hesitated to move, dreading what might be waiting on the other side of that door. The knocks persisted, growing louder and more insistent, as if whatever was out there demanded to be let in. I mustered every ounce of courage and edged towards the door, my hand trembling as I reached for the doorknob. But just as my fingers grazed the cold metal, the knocks ceased abruptly, plunging the room into an eerie silence once more. I stood there, rooted to the spot, my heart pounding in my chest. The game had returned to normal. The glitches vanished, leaving me in a state of disbelief. But the fear lingered, the memory of that night haunting me, and the unanswered question remained. What was it that knocked on my door that night, and why did the game seem to beckon it